an article by the Daily Beast. It was published back in February 9. And the headline, a Christian group is building a movement that could destabilize Jerusalem's most explosive holy site. Here I am agreeing with the Daily Beast.
Uh-oh.
This is amazing.
Welcome to topsy-turvy world, Rick.
You know, if the Daily Beast would call me, I could help them with a lot of this stuff. I could save you a lot of time in research. All right, so they're absolutely right. I agree with the Daily Beast. This story is absolutely right. This Christian group is called Cry for Zion.
Right.
And you pointed out to me, they were connected with the David's
tent movement
in Washington.
Yes.
So they are recruiting Christians around the world to be mobilized for the support of the building of a third temple. It's a Christian Zionist group. And this is a statement I found to be really interesting. Let's see, it's John, I guess, Enarson, I guess the way he says it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Public Relations Director for Cry for Zion. He said, it is the most Jewish, talking about the Temple Mount.
Right.
He said, it's the most Jewish site in the entire country. He said, it is the key to sovereignty. Now, here's the kicker. If Israel doesn't have legitimacy or rights to the Temple Mount, why, logically, should they have rights to Tel Aviv, Beersheba, or anywhere else? Doc, explain why that is an amazing, shocking statement.
The reason why is because what they're doing is they're equating the right to a third temple to the right of Israel to exist. You're going to hear a lot of things. In fact, you've already started hearing it over the past several months about Israel's right to exist, the right to exist, right to exist. Well, we've pretty much agreed that Israel is there and they exist. But now they're going to equate the third temple with Israel's right to exist. And if you deny the third temple, then therefore you're also denying Israel's right to exist.
And they define that as Zionism. And we remember back to AIPAC,
Yes.
that is their definition of Zionism.
And not only that, but the Temple Mount. He's saying if they don't have the Temple Mount,
Then we have no Israel.
there is no Israel. There's no legitimate Israel. Therefore, we can have the land, but we're not legitimate until we have the Temple Mount.
So they are not really Israel until they have the temple.
Now, this sounds like a political issue, right? That advocating for, again, that this temple needs to be built or that it's akin to Tel Aviv and other places in Israel. Has Cry for Zion registered as a foreign agent, as an agency working for another government? Because the things that these groups advocate for. I mean, if you think about this in any other parallel, you would expect them to be registered as a political organization.
Well, they're doing political work for Israel as a religious organization. All right, so they avoid registration. But they're still a lobbyist for foreign power.
Well, that's how they blended Zionism with religion, and it becomes one. It becomes a hybrid.
But if you ask the members of Cry for Zion, Rick, if you ask them this question, why do we need a third temple? Why do we need one?
Well, the Christian Zionists say that they got several answers. They say that the temple has to be built so that animal sacrifices will start again. Somehow they're convinced that if millions of Jews are sacrificing animals in Jerusalem again,
It's going to make them think about
somehow
Jesus.
it's going to make them think about Jesus. Well, it didn't work the first time.
Right.
Because they crucified Jesus.
Right.
Right. And then there's the belief that the Antichrist has to go sit in the temple.
Right.
So you got these Christian Zionists who say we have to build the temple because the Antichrist has to go into the temple.
Right, because Jesus can't come until the Antichrist comes, is what they're saying, right?
But all of that is based on a flawed theology that was created by John Nelson Darby, who did seances in Ireland. I mean, all these guys, there's always a mystical, secret knowledge, occult connection to them
Witchcraft.
in Christian Zionism.
Think about the logic. You're building the Antichrist, which son of perdition, but what does use their vernacular? The Antichrist who will come to kill and destroy
Yes.
so we can bring in Jesus. But you want to help him out. You want to get that going and help him out so he can kill and destroy the earth.
Here's a problem that a lot of Christians are deceived on. Any attempt to control God, any attempt to control God is idolatry.
Of course.
Basically what groups like this are saying is, Jesus cannot return until we build something for him.
I've heard that before.
Yes.
You understand what that is? That means we control the timeline. It's us.
Yeah.
We control it.
Building the Tower of Babel.
That is no different than taking a rock and carving a face on it and starting bowing down to it. There's no difference. None. You are trying to control God.
Yes.
You're saying that God cannot do this until I do this.
God is not a
Or if
You
you
got
have,
it, Doc.
if you
That's
have
exactly
some,
what they're
if you
teaching.
have some secret knowledge,
Oh, yeah.
that validifies all of that need.
Oh, see, and it's got to be secret knowledge,
Well, it's
too.
of course secret, yeah.
Only you and I know this.
But you don't have the special decoder ring, but some rabbis do.
Yeah, but you could write a book about the secret knowledge, and you could go on Christian TV and sell millions of dollars.
But you have to have that secret
You have
decoder.
to have the secret knowledge. I want to go to, for our control room, I guess we have it marked 15B, the Tel Aviv skyscraper. Guys, I saw this story back in January.
Right.
And I don't know if we ever talked about it.
We were going to several days in a row, but we never got to the
Really?
actual story.
All right, so if we could put up the Tel Aviv skyscraper 15B, I know I'm kind of messing everybody up here. Okay,
Right.
so right there, this is a drawing of a...
It looks real there,
right
doesn't
there. In the center, this is going to be the tallest building in Tel Aviv, and it's the developers or the architects are saying it's designed as a scroll.
Oh, yeah. It
Okay.
looks like Tower of Babel to
But
me.
others are saying it reminds them of the Tower of Babel. And so back in January, Breaking Israel News, who is a Chabad Lubavitch news website that they practice Kabbalah,
Yes.
mysticism. And so they wrote an article, Tel Aviv skyscraper, remake of Tower of Babel, or preparation for the third temple.
Yes, and what they were doing in this article, they actually were quoting an advocate, a big advocate of a third temple, Yisrael Rosenberg, and they said he has a powerful connection to spiritual implications of this construction. And he said the main sin connected to the Tower of Babel was not in their action, but in their intention. And he wanted to say here, everything we learn about construction in Israel is just one step away from the Beit HaMikdash. Just like Solomon's temple, the third temple will be the agreement and blessing of every nation in the world, and it will be the greatest construction project ever seen. We need to learn how to lead the world in this project.
So what these Kabbalah guys are saying is that the Tel Aviv Tower, which is a beautiful building, it looks like they're putting up, but they're saying, hey, this does look like the Tower of Babel, and this will be the grandest construction project in modern times in Israel. And through this construction project, we're going to learn a lot about building the temple.
Yes.
Now, I want to go, if we could put the photo back up on the screen, the last one that we just had. Okay, according, I didn't make this up, the estimate for construction is $666 million US.
That's a very odd number for the cost of construction here.
I'm not making it up, folks.
That's what they reported.
Yes, that's from Breaking News Israel.
The thing, they said
Breaking Israel News.
the action is not the intention, it was the intention. But you can't have the intention without the action. I mean,
We know that the
takes-
decisions always involve gematria and this hidden knowledge. This came into the play when it came to the decision to move the embassy. The date, in May of 2018, the rabbis at the time, reporting on the same website, Breaking Israel News, said the numbers were in line.
Yep.
It was a good time for us to move ahead with
That's
this.
what they tell President Trump as well.
All right, so now,
Keep going.
let's go back, rewind the True News time machine, November, just before the election. Trump victory prophesied by Kabbalah, says mystical rabbi. Now that's the headline from Breaking Israel News,
Oh boy.
which is a Kabbalah news website. So they call their rabbi mystical, okay? And all these silly biblically illiterate Christian Zionists in America,
Lap it up.
go to this website and suck it in. They do, I don't know what to say about it.
God's word's not enough.
They're biblically,
The Bible's not enough.
you got it. They're biblically illiterate. They have to have some kind of buzz. They got to find a spiritual buzz because the Word of God does not excite them.
Right.
They got to find something mystical. All right. So this is November 3rd, 2016.
5 days before.
5 days before the election. A noted Kabbalist arrived at the office of the head of the Republican Party in Israel. Did you know the Republican Party has an office in Israel?
Knew that.
A satellite office of it,
Yes, I
okay.
knew that.
Seems.
This week, with the express purpose of reassuring him that in heaven, the matter has already been decided. Donald Trump will be elected to serve as the next president of the United States. Though Mark Zell, chairman of Republicans Overseas Israel, is religious, he has limited knowledge of Kabbalah.
That's
Thank
good on
God.
your part.
So he was very surprised when a noted Kabbalist mystic contacted him last Sunday saying he needed to speak to him concerning the upcoming elections in America. The Kabbalist is well known in Israel, but insisted on remaining anonymous in the news. He arrived at Zell's office in Jerusalem with his entourage in the early evening. Zell did not know what to expect, but was open to anything the rabbi had to say. Zell told Israel Breaking News, quote, "There are things in this world we just don't understand. I figured this might be one of them." In the meeting with Zell, the rabbi stated emphatically, quote, "Donald Trump will win the election and be the next president of the United States." End of quote. The rabbi assured him that this would be a good thing for Israel and the United States. Though Zell was delighted to hear the message, he remained skeptical and insisted on knowing the reason for the Kabbalist being so sure. The Kabbalist answered, "This is what I do. This is what my family has done for generations. To us, this is clear." What is it that he does? What has his family done for generations? His family's Kabbalist wizards. What do they do?
Gematria.
Gematria.
Witchcraft,
Yes.
numerology, fortune telling. Doesn't the God of Israel forbid Jews to do such things?
It does, but they just relabeled it, rebranded it, Rick.
Okay. The next day, 2 large boxes arrived at Zell's office. The Kabbalist had sent him 2 sets of the Zohar, the foundational work in the literature of Jewish mysticism that contained his family's interpretation of the esoteric books. One set is now in Zell's library, but the other may be on the shelf of the Oval Office.
Wow.
Would you say that again?
Now, this is written before the election. It said, one set is now, I'll read it exactly word for word. One set is now in Zell's library, but the other may very well sit on the shelf in the Oval Office in the future.
Wow.
So if that's true, President Trump has a Zohar in the Oval Office. And you can be certain that Ivanka and Jared made sure it was placed there.
Yeah, if they told him, like they shared with them that they knew you were going to be president, they saw it. Of course, he's got 5 volumes of the Zohar.
Well, I hope they screen these books before they put them in there for listening devices and whatnot. It's insane to think that before the election, and they had this planned out. This is probably going into the beginning of the election. Jared Kushner was a major part of President Trump's campaign starting in 2015.
The thing is, a lot of people don't know Kabbalah. A lot of people do not know this term.
I even know how to pronounce it.
I don't know how to
Madonna knows it. She just had Kabbalah Shabbat.
That's right. A lot of celebrities are into Kabbalah.
Yeah.
But they don't know. They don't know what's. They see that, right? Kabbalah. They saw the bands they wear, those red little Kabbalah strings. They do
Well,
not.
Michael Cohen, President Trump's attorney.
Yeah.
Yes, he wore them in front of Congress.
When he had the testimony, he was wearing his Kabbalah red band.
Yeah.
And he was telling everybody, "I'm a Kabbalist.
The thing is,
I got people that have power."
Yes.
All right.
But they don't know the people behind it, that these Talmudic rabbis. Where they, what is Kabbalah, right?
They think it's innocent.
They think it's New Age, it's prayer, it's good. They don't know really who and what is behind it.
That's right. But it's wicked. It's wicked.